Welcome. My name is Gene, and today we are going to move through just a little level shifting practice, mainly giving you a chance to find different levels with postures, how that discerns body positioning, shifting of body through space, a little extra mindful awareness essentially of how you take up the space that you take up. So for now, find your way to your top of the mat, feet planted on the earth in Tadasana mountain pose. Take a breath in through the nose, lifting the crown of the head upward toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, encourage the shoulders to drop from the ears a little bit, just giving some space for your throat to exist. As you've made a couple of shifts in the body, feet planted again where you want them to be, wiggle the toes off the mat even, just to give you that chance to really be sure of how you're anchoring yourself. The joints then stack as the limbs stack alongside. All of the body reaching upward to meet whatever sky awaits you today. Nice job just breathing here. Giving your mind a chance to ease itself out of any thoughts that are trying to be a little more forceful in your space. Create that feeling of clearness and clarity. Maybe you even close the eyes for a couple of those breaths, giving yourself a chance to begin that internalization process. As your mountain pose becomes more organic to your body, this can be a nice place to offer an intention for your practice. A sankalpa, that heartfelt feeling that you want to move with today. Given that there is that extra sense of body presence, maybe your intention falls in line with learning about what your body has to teach you today. When something feels good versus when something doesn't feel good. Or any intention that helps connect you to that inner wisdom, the voice within, instinct, intuition, allowing them to interchange as you need. Two more breaths here for yourself. Before moving into some specific movement work, you're going to start off by warming up your shoulder space, your collar space. So breathing in through the nose. Think of your shoulders rolling forward and then up, crinkling them against the bottom portions of your earlobes. And then exhale, shoulders roll back and down, just opening the chest a little bit. 3 more shoulder circles. Breathe in, forward and up with your shoulder space. And then breathe out, back and down, just following that movement. 2 more breaths. Nice job. Last one. Now as as you find yourself back at that neutral starting point. Take an inhale. Shoulders will roll backward and then up now. And then from that crinkling sensation again, exhale. Shoulders roll forward and down. 3 more. Breathe in, back and up. And then exhale forward and down. 2 more at your pace. Just observing what your body is feeling. Store the information that might help you decide how you move through any upcoming shapes that are a little more chest-centric. So finding your way back to center after those 2 circles. Take an inhale. Shake the wrists out a little bit. And then as you exhale, reaching the hands out in front. Right hand first. You're just going to add some extra pressure with your left hand against the right fingers.
I am that for which I long. And here, I lay everything down until there is nothing left of me.
Breathing 3 more breaths.
But a song of deep devotion.
Nice job. Take an inhale. You're just going to point the right fingertips down toward the earth. And then left hand on an exhale just moves to that top of the right fingers against the right knuckles. Couple breaths here of that soft pressure. Now this is a great place to observe some of those shoulder circles you just did. If you feel your shoulders are starting to creep up on the ears a bit, again, give yourself that space for the shoulders to move down toward your spine. And then inhale, release, shake that right wrist out a couple times, maybe do a circle or 2. And then as you exhale, left hands turn out in front, right fingertips against the front of the left hand, applying gentle pressure for your wrist. Even as there may not be a general wrist focus on your practice, there are a few shapes that involve weight shift, where your planted wrists on the ground can be a point of stability. So even asking here, how are your wrists feeling today? As you're ready, breathe in, releasing the left fingertips down to the earth. Exhale. Right hand is against the left knuckles, applying some pressure. Do a little bit more with the arms before actually moving down to the mat. Just to know that your arms feel comfortable sustaining, maintaining, and stabilizing your body weight wherever you end up moving. Nice job. Last breath here. And then breathing in, shake out the left wrist, make a couple circles. Gathering again that information. How is the wrist feeling? Nice. Coming back to your center, we'll just take an inhale, get a little bit more into the arms. You're going to cross that right arm over to the left side. As you exhale, the left elbow hooks just above the right elbow, more toward that right forearm. Just getting a little bitty stretch. Taking 2 more breaths here. Can feel like familiar movements, especially if you do extra bits of arm work at a gym, or even just helping to loosen the body for specific movements. Taking an inhale here, you're going to release the arms, bringing that right palm back down to the middle of your back, and then exhale, left hand finds the right elbow and very gently pushes down. Taking 4 breaths here. Breathe. This particular shape is great if you have a Gomukhasana or cow face pose that you would like to incorporate in a practice, especially as you're getting that nice extension along the right tricep area. Breathe. 1 more breath here. And then inhale. As you release the left hand from the right elbow, you're just going to open the arms out to your sides, elbows pointing toward the ground, bent cactus body. 2 breaths here, not quite as long, just a chance to move the body a little bit, opening your heart space. And then inhale, arms come to a T as that left arm moves across the body. And then exhale, right elbow now hooks the left arm. Just taking a few breaths, getting into that left shoulder connector a little bit. Breathe. And just like the wrist circles, observe your shoulders, remembering to keep space for your neck, for your throat to breathe openly, freely, unhinderingly. Good job. Last breath here. Now taking that next inhale, release the arms, bringing that left palm just underneath or below the left side of your neck. And then exhale, right hand on the left elbow, very, very gently pushing down. You'll feel that stretch along the left tricep as you take 4 breaths here. Coming back to your intention, you've spent a little less than half your practice just warming the body up for a few movements. Even giving yourself that space to mindfully be aware of what your body is feeling can help you embody your time on your mat a little more concretely, a little more crystalline. As you inhale, the arms release, elbows bend to the sides. 2 breath cactus. Breathe. Now preparing you 1 more breath. We're actually going to use this shape as your movement into your Surya Namaskar, your sun salutation. So how that will feel, breathe in, arms are going to reach up toward the sun, maybe the hands meet if you'd like. As you exhale, palms are touching as you hinge forward from your hips, hands reaching the ground, eventually in a forward fold. Breathe in, raising your spine up halfway, lengthening through your thoracic spine. And then exhale to bend the knees, plant the hands, step hopper, float your feet back to high plank, elbows bent for Chaturanga Dandasana to the earth. Inhale again, peel the chest up, toes curled on the mat, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And from upward dog, exhale, pressing into your toes, raising your hips up, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now adding in an extra vinyasa flow here, getting some of that heat. Inhale, body shifts forward, abs engaged, rear tucked in. And then exhale, elbows tuck into the body now, Chaturanga, toes uncurl from the mat. Inhale again, peel the chest up. You decide cobra or upward facing dog. And then palms once more on the earth. As you exhale, elevate the hips toward the ceiling. Maybe you walk the feet in a step or two. This downward dog you'll hold for a few breaths. Always welcome to drop down to the knees and take a tabletop shape if this feels more in line with your practice pace today. Whether you stay in tabletop, take child's pose, downward facing hero, or stay in downward facing dog. Heed the thoughts in your mind and then come back to those felt sense experiences. Palms of the hands pressed against the earth. Soles of the feet reaching down toward the mat if you're in downward dog. Or maybe finding that opening of the hip space ever so slightly if you're in your downward hero. Last breath here. So from tabletop or downward facing dog, breathe in. Look at that point between the thumbs where they meet. And then as you exhale, you can step, hop, float, or tabletop your feet to your hands for a forward fold. Breathe in again. Raise the spine up halfway, lengthening through your tailbone to the wall behind you. And then exhale as you bend the knees softly, hands dangle toward the earth once more, Uttanasana. Last breath in, you're bending the knees. Roll the spine up as the arms reach the sky. And then bending at the elbows again, exhale, 2-breath cactus. Just holding here as you breathe. Feel that openness in the heart space, just connecting all of the pieces of information that your body is telling you together. Great job. Last inhale here. Maybe you bend the elbows a little bit deeper, just getting more into your shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, pressing through the air as your hands meet in heart center in Samasthiti. Nice time to drink some water if you'd like. Maybe just shaking the torso, shaking the chest space a little bit. And moving the body around in different places. So those arm and wrist movements might have also added some sensation in your collar and chest space, your throat region as well. Notice again the sensations. They all have something to convey. Should we give the space for those messages to be conveyed? So moving now into a sun salutation B. Giving a little extra movement in the body before we come down to the mat. Observe how you are taking up space. How is your mountain pose? How is your Tadasana rooting you to your anchor point on this planet? So this Surya Namaskar B will be more breath to movement connected, encouraging a bit of extra heat in the body. Take the movements at your pace. Even if you hear me cue forward, always welcome to stay in a shape for a little bit longer. So coming back to Tadasana, take a breath in. Hands find heart center, Samasthiti for Surya Namaskar, Sun Salutation B. And then exhale, bend the knees, engaging with your internal hip rotators as you sit down in your chair. Take another breath in, sink down just a little bit deeper if that chair feels good today. And then exhale, everything melts forward as your heart finds your legs, forward fold. Inhale, raise your spine up halfway, lengthening again through your tailbone. And then exhale to bend the knees, plant the palms, step, hop, or float your feet back. This is your vinyasa opportunity, elbows tucked for chaturanga. Inhale, chest peels upward, toes planted on the mat, upward facing dog. And again from Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, exhale, hips elevate, sit bones to the ceiling, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Take that next inhale, right leg lifts off the mat, doesn't have to be too high. And then exhale, shift your body weight forward, planting or fanning that right foot toward the hands. Raise the torso up as the left foot's 45 degrees from your mat. Warrior one. Take a breath in, sink a little bit deeper to the bend of that front right knee. And then breathe out, hinge forward from the hips. Hands plant, right leg slides back. Take another vinyasa. Maybe you keep that right foot elevated. Inhale, chest peels up again. And then from cobra or upward dog, exhale, toes on the mat. Hips elevated, downward dog. Rectum movement again. Inhale, left leg rises up, three-legged shape. And then exhale, step or fan the left foot toward the hands. Right foot 45 degrees. Bent left knee, warrior one. Inhale once more, bending deeper into that left knee. And then exhale, hands press together as you hinge forward. Hands find the ground, left leg slides back. Again, another vinyasa, if that feels good today. So again, holding this downward dog for a few breaths. Connect with all 10 fingertips on the mat. Your wrists have you supported and stable. Arms are nice and straight. With the softest of bends in the elbow, just to let the chest move between your biceps. It's almost like your heart wants to reach the legs. Doesn't have to though, you're still getting that full body stretch. Last breath here. Now before finishing your salutation, we'll add one more vinyasa flow. Take an inhale, body weight shifts forward, high plank, palms planted on the mat. And then elbows tuck in on an exhale, chaturanga, all the way to the earth. Breathe in, chest rises as the toes curl on the mat, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And then exhale, pressing into your curled toes, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Take another inhale, look up where the palms meet once more. And then take a breath out, step, hop, float, tabletop your body to your hands. Feet planted, Uttanasana. Inhale, spine rises halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale to bend the knees softly, heart dangling again with the hands, forward fold. Last inhale, bend the knees. Arms swoop up, hands meet as you're in chair pose one more time. And then exhale, straightening the legs as you reconnect with your Samasthiti, your heart center. Check in on your heartbeat. You get a couple of shoulder circles. Also always welcome to drink some water if you'd like. So you move through a sun salutation A and a sun salutation B as the core of your practice today. Observe the sensations one more time that moves through you as your body moves through space in various ways. So coming back to mountain pose, we'll start the journey down to the mat to round out your practice today. Come back to that intention, however, that sankalpa, as this will guide you into that final posture of your practice. Now taking an inhale, arms wherever you have them will meet upward to the sun one last time. And then from there, exhale as the hands part, hinge forward from the hips. Uttanasana. With your heart by your thighs, breathe in, lift the spine halfway, connecting the neck and tailbone. And then breathe out to bend the knees, plant the hands, drop down to the knees for a tabletop. Before settling into your Savasana, we'll just do a little bit of spinal flossing in the form of some cat-cows, getting a little bit of that curvature recognized. So knees planted on the mat under the hips. Breathe in as you dip your abdomen toward the ground. Tailbone and crown of the head rise. Breathe out again. Press into the palms as you hollow your rib space. Chin toward your tailbone. Nice job. We'll take 3 more. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Next one. Nice. Last one. Breathe in. And then breathe out. From here, as you inhale, return your abdomen back to neutral table. And then choosing a hip, left or right, just to sit back on that respective hip. The legs swing through center. All of this is to make some space on your mat and take the journey down to the earth. Allow your spine to acclimate itself to the ground. Maybe you even have the palms of the hands on the ground, just for that grounding energy, that anchoring energy you've been moving with today. If your feet are dorsiflexed or toes pointed up to the ceiling, maybe you allow the feet to relax as the toes point toward those front corners of your mat. Allow yourself any final movements in your body. Maybe you decide that you'd rather take your savasana a different way. Instead of on your spine, you can take a side-facing savasana, like a fetal position. Or if you have a seated savasana in your practice, that's just as valid. Your main purpose is to find a space where your body feels relaxed and can really allow a surrendering of self to that present moment you are giving. Such a surrender asks of you a mindful breath and a steadfast heartbeat, equally connected to both of those movements of energy throughout the body. You're also invited to leave behind any stiffness, any tension, any uncertainty, any doubts, especially with the wrists. That area of the body can hold quite a bit of stress, and for a place that can sometimes be delicate. And then finally, encourage yourself again to really find a moment of stillness. 2 sun salutations with elements of body transition, a couple extra vinyasa flows. How did that make you feel? And where in your body did you feel those particular sensations a little more prominently? So that all said, take a few moments here, enjoy your savasana, enjoy the rest, and know that I will call you back to the here and now shortly. Enjoy your savasana. starting to bring some awareness back to yourself. How you're taking up space, your body, on your mat, as you breathe in through your nose, and breathe out through your nose, or take a sigh, or even a yawn through the mouth. Connecting with the feeling of air, carries oxygen, carries prana or life force energy throughout the body. And then that air, that energy, that life force is sent, dispersed where you need it in the moment. From there, the fingertips and toes begin to wiggle softly. The wrists and ankles might make some circles. You may even tip the neck side to side, ear to shoulder, back to center, and then ear to shoulder again. And then making any final movements for your body that honor and strengthen your tether to this corporeal plane. And all the while returning to your intention, your sankalpa today. Sometimes we think of yoga as a modality that can only function with thematic shapes. Yoga is truthfully what you need it to be. Maybe it's just a practice where you move through a couple of salutations and find yourself present to the flow of energy in and out of you, much like your inhales and exhales. Sometimes yoga is just that moment to say, I am existing in my space as I need to, without any preconceived notions, without any expectations. I am meeting myself in the present. Whatever has brought you to roll out your mat today, I offer you gratitude as I invite you to choose that final ceiling shape of your body. Maybe you stay on your mat in your conjured savasana. Maybe you meet me in a seat, finding your way to your sit bones on the earth. And being kind to your body, taking your time with the movements that it takes to arrive in that ceiling point. The arms, the legs, the eyes, adopting a form that continues the thread of authentic presence. How are you here in this moment? How is your body taking up space in this moment? It has been my humble honor and continual joy to have shared space with you today, as you have shared space with me. May you continue to live this life in your authentic way, bringing forth your signature shine and radiance to this beautiful planet we share. The luminosity in me cherishes, respects, and will always celebrate the luminous blooming heart in you. Shanti. Namaste. Thank you again for choosing to roll out your mat for a little bit with me today and spend a little bit of time with your body, connecting various modes of information and just letting yourself exist for a little while as you need to. Until we meet again, namaste.